Hi, this is Editor's Take. I'm Sakshi Batra and I have with me Gaurav Chaudhary, Deputy Executive Editor of Money Control. And today we're going to be discussing about the latest data shared by CBDT. Thanks very much, Gaurav, for joining me in this discussion. Now, the latest data actually shows that there's been a rise in the number of Crorepatis in India, and India is now home to over 81,000 individuals who have a disclosed income above 1 crore rupees. So, how do you analyze this data? Is this a huge jump when you compare it with the previous data?
Yeah, so we'll have to break it down into two parts. One, there is a body of individuals, corporates, firms, and Hindu undivided families.
Okay.
And then from within that, we have to take the individuals. So if you take the first part, there were about 88,000 people who were disclosing, 88,000 entities, including individuals, who were disclosing an income of more than 1 crore rupees about 4 years ago, 3 years ago. That has now gone up to 1,40,000. That's a jump of 60%. Likewise, individuals who had a disclosed income of 1 crore rupee had gone up from about 48,000 to 81,000. That's again a jump of over 60%. Either way, it's a big jump.
Yes.
And I think this is the right way to go.
Okay.
I think this is also an evidence of success that demonetization has at least sought to achieve, to make more and more people disclose their hidden wealth.
Absolutely, and this is what I wanted to point out next as to what has really led to this rise. Is it because of these bold steps taken by the government on demonetization front, or formalization of the economy, steps taken towards GST implementation? Is it all of that that has caused this rise?
Yeah, so demonetization clearly seems to have played a part in this, and the more evidence on that will be available when the government actually discloses data for the next year, which is assessment year 18-19, and returns filed in 17-18, returns filed for income of 17-18. I expect a big jump to happen in that year as well. But what is interesting to note is that the number of tax assessed is actually gone up from about 3.2 crore to a close, now we're closing in on 6 crore. That's a big jump.
Yes.
While on a proportionate basis compared to India's total population, it is still quite low. But having said that, from about 3.2 crore to close to 6 crore is something that needs to be probably accelerated now.
Absolutely. And what does it really mean for the broader economy? You did say that there's been a rise in the tax assessees. If you see the number of returns filed, all of that is getting increased. But how does it really impact the economy?
So the good thing is that the tax GDP ratio, which is a metric of how effective and progressive the tax system is growing. And within that, the direct tax to GDP ratio is actually now 6%. That's the best in a decade. So there is fewer leakages happening, and this is a sign of lower evasion. Although evasion continues to persist, is rampant in many areas, as we know. If you look at the proportion of direct taxes as compared to the entire revenue collection of the government, has grown from about 36.2% to 52.3%.
Right.
So if the government is earning 1 rupee, more than 50% is coming from direct taxes, which is a sign of a progressive taxation system. But there's still a long way to go.
Yes.
If you look at it from a half-empty point of view, if you look at from the consumption spending evidence, the number of cars, for instance, that cost more than 1 crore rupees, and people buying those number of cars is far, far higher than those people who are actually disclosing an income of more than 1 crore rupees. So clearly, while we have achieved some degree of in the fight against tax evasion, there's still a long way to go. But I'm hopeful. This data clearly throws a great degree of optimism in place.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Gaurav, for sharing all that insight. Well, the numbers are definitely big positive. If you see the taxpayers' numbers are increasing, the number of returns are being filed are increasing, and for sure there is some degree of victory that the government and all of us are going to achieve in the tax evasion category. But still, there is a long way to go, as the taxpayers' base, if you see, is just a little over 6 crores, and when we are a population of over 125 crores. So long way to go, but we are definitely in the right direction. Thanks very much for joining us in this discussion on this episode of Editor's Take. Do stay logged on to moneycontrol.com for more news and updates. Thanks for watching.